Now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to just press O to, and you can see this thing just pops up if I press the O. It's called force duration. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Homayoon TV. Today we're going to go back again to Dorico, and this time we're going to talk about dynamics. And this is going to be a quick tutorial from basic to advanced, but if you really want to know more about the basics, make sure to check the previous video that I covered with this topic. It will help you a lot more. But other than that, if you want to learn more about the advanced stuff, keep on watching. As you know, with everything in Dorico, you have two ways of adding anything into your score, and that is with a popover that can be initiated with Shift D to initiate the dynamics popover, or if not, you can just go to the right side and make sure to click on this panel here, the palette here, and to the right panel, and then you can just click on the dynamics. It will open up another window. Then you can just say, hey, I want a molto forte, and then you just add it to where you want. And now this is an advanced tip. If you just want to continue adding molto fortes, you can just hold Alt to copy what you're doing and then just click anywhere else. So if I just do this, it's just gonna keep on adding the whatever it was before, and this works for everything. So if you want to add notes, you can also just do the same. So I'm just holding Alt on my keyboard and clicking anywhere on the score. It will duplicate whatever it was selected before. Now let's go back to the dynamics and the popover. So popover is the same. You can just write whatever you want. You can write just subito forte, and it will be added here. And if you want to modify a bit more specific what you want to do, you can come down here and open the lower panel. There you have a lot more options here within your dynamics. So for example, you can say, hey, I want it to be above the score. I want to be parenthesized. If you want to hide the intensity marking, sometimes you don't want to have it in your score and you just want it for playback. This is one way of achieving that. All right, so that was a bit more the basics, and now we're gonna cover a bit more advanced stuff. As you know, Dorico has the ability to play individual piano hands separately, so the dynamics can also be separate because you have two different steps, and you can also have them separately, have them playback separately. So what we're going to do is that I'm going to show you something. If I just initiate my pop over here, and then I just write triple forte here, this playback is going to be for both of them. So if I press P, okay, so everything is now loud, right? And but now I'm going to say, hey, no, I want the upper part to be forte or triple forte and the lower part to be pianissimo. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to delete this. I'm going to press Shift D to initiate the popover. I'm going to write again the triple forte. Then I'm going to hold Alt. Now look, when I hold Alt, that blue thingy here, this icon here, activates, which it means that it's going to be individually. So I'm going to hold it and I'm going to click on, I want to press on Enter on my keyboard, right? Now I'm going to go to the lower voice. I'm going to do the same. Now I'm going to say, hey, I want you to be pianissimo. So I'm going to write PP here and then hold Alt and press Enter, okay? And I'm going to change the note so you guys can hear it a bit better. Let's put it B flat even. Let's play it. All right, now as you can see, the B flat is gone. But if I now delete this and delete this one, and then I put the triple forte, now you can clearly hear that the B flat is back. So it works quite neatly like this. Before that, it was a bit different. We had to do workarounds, and some of these workaround also gives, meaning to other techniques that you can use, and that was that you had to go to play mode, and I'm gonna lower this, and you had to enable independent voice playback, and then you had separate voices. Then you could do different stuff with each voice, like the dynamics. But now you don't have to do this. You just hold Alt, and it just works. But just for you to know, if you want to do some creative stuff, in this sense, if you have a piano staff, you can also say, with these independent voices, you can say, hey, I want this one to have a specific sound, and I want my other voice to have another sound. So, because you can just change it here, right? It's the same as any other track. So if I put violin, you have the note performer here, and here you can just select whatever you have. For example, if you want to have one of them with a VST instrument or the other one, it just you could do whatever you want with the with any of these sounds. But I'm now gonna put it back to where it was. I'm gonna go track inspector, disable independent voice. So it's just gonna go the way it was. Okay, now another tip regarding this, and that is if you have if you ever modify uh, some dynamics after what you had before. So let's say, for example, I just changed some stuff here for you guys. Look, these till here we have the same as we had before, right? So with the independent sound, with the alt thing that I just told you right now. Now, then we have a molto forte here. So because I want this to be louder, and then we have this guy here, which is a triple forte. In this triple forte here, you need to also add this pianissimo again here, because Dorico is going to think that, hey, because just because you put this dynamics here, is going to think, oh, this belongs to both of them, but it doesn't. So you really need to specify what dynamics should be there, again with the alt. So really like a real world scenario where you have a musician and every dynamic should be precisely written there. This is also the same as that. So you really need to tell Dorico what to do, and also it avoids confusion when you continue throughout the project. Okay, now let's continue. I want to tell you guys some other cool stuff, advanced tips. If you want to, for example, raise everything, raise all your dynamics, or increase all your dynamics at the same time, you can just select them. Then you can just right click and go to dynamics. Then you have a bunch of these guys here. You have increase and decrease dynamic intensity. Then I can just simply say, hey, decrease them. Then everything is going to go down. You can also add a shortcut for them. And this is going to be really handy if you have, for example, orchestral scores that have a lot of stuff going on. And also what I suggest to do, instead of just clicking, you just can select everything here, and you just do a right click anywhere in your score, but of course on the selected stuff. Then you can go to filters, then you go to all dynamics, then you can do the increase or decrease. So it saves a lot of time with bigger scores, right? So you can decrease, increase, whatever you want to do. By the way, I wanted to let you know that I also give Dorico lessons. So if you need lessons, or if you have questions regarding a certain workflow, or you're stuck in a project, you can contact me, and I put the email in the description below. So hopefully see you soon. All right, let's continue. Okay, and probably the most advanced tip that I'm gonna tell you guys, and that is ways to write dynamics for flutes, violins, anything that has a sustained sound, because you can change it in time, right? Piano is just like bam, and then the sound goes away. So, but flute, violin, the sustained sounds, that's not how it works. You can just immediately change it in tiniest moment that you in the in the brink of a moment, you can just change it. Same as here. So I put this in the fourth beat of this bar, I put a pianissimo. And you might ask, how am I doing this? What I'm going to do now, I'm just going to delete all of these guys here and show you how it's been done. So let's say this is the score, but you want to have that dynamic there. The easiest way to do it is to just first, of course, you have your score written. I'm just gonna write it down. Okay. The easiest way to do it, of course, if you want to hold the tie as well, because if it's me, I would show that that note is important with a tie. I'm not going to just keep it empty, but up to you, because you can also just um, do it like this and put the piano here, but I wouldn't do it like that. I always I always show the note because I find it important for the musician to know which beat this event has to happen or this dynamic marking has to happen. But in order to tie them, you're going to notice that Dorico is going to eat it. So you see, it's going to just combine all the timings and basically just sums everything up to the higher or the larger note duration. And what's easier to do is that you just select what you had from before. Imagine this was the case. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to just press O to, and you can see this thing just pops up if I press the O. It's called force duration. And I'm just going to press on T for adding a tie. And as you can see, it just follows through and goes on. But important thing, when you are adding this lock duration thing, you must add it from the notes before. So if this note doesn't have one, look, this already has, you can see it in the force duration, but this one doesn't. Let's say realistically, if you're just starting a project, it's not going to have anything, right? And then you're home and then you're like, okay, I'm going to put a lock duration here. I press I press O to lock the duration and T. It works magical. But then you're going to come across here, then you press T and then whoa, you think, oh, it's a bug happening because you already locked that. No. The way Dorico works, as I said, is that you need to go back to the previous note, the note that everything starts. Then everything starts with a tie, then you lock that one, and then you just keep moving forward. Or in this sense, you can just manually lock their duration. So this one's already locked. Then I go here, I just press on O to lock the duration, and I press T, and voila. And if I just keep on going now, whatever duration there is, it's just gonna work this way because it's gonna keep on locking the duration as it goes. Okay, now this part is not that difficult. What you can do is you can just come to the right panel and just select dynamic and just put it here. But this is one way. The other way is to actually do it before you lock the duration or before you do all this stuff. You just press U to cut everything. I know it sounds a bit inconvenient. It sometimes is, but if you know first which note and what's going to happen, then you will avoid this. But if you already have your ties, this is the only way to go, or unless the other way that I showed you. Or there's also another way that you can just again put the dynamic somewhere and move it. So you just let me show you. Let's say I just put a P. Well, let's say. Nah, never mind. Yeah, let me show you. Maybe it works like this. No, I don't like it because we need another bar here. For example, if it was a case that we had this piano here, for example, then you had that, like you had a separate part here, then you could move it back to here. But for example, let's say you don't and everything is tied. No matter where you press the Shift D, it's gonna put the dynamic popover in the beginning. Okay, so this is what makes it a bit difficult, and the easiest way is to just do it before you add the ties. And again, in order to remove them, you just press U, and U removes the tie. It doesn't remove your lock duration. Look, this is still on. And what I'm going to do now, I just do Shift D and I do a piano here. Now I'm going to show you another shortcut here. Well, actually, you can also just double click it and Shift and the arrow to the right. I forgot the name. Then you pull it. Okay, now this happens. You might say, okay, what should I do now if this happens? What you can do, you can just grab it and pull it back. I know it's inconvenient, but it is what it is. I think it should just stay locked here. There's no need for it to move because we didn't select it, but it is what it is, and it's not that difficult of a thing. Yeah, and then you just keep on adding whatever you wanted to add. Okay, and then you just add a mezzo forte here, and then you use T to tie everything, and it just works magically. Now, for the last tip that I want to tell you guys, if you saw that at some point your dynamics look ugly, like for example this, and you want it to be really in line, I mean, I would love it to, you know, that the score would look perfect. What you can do is that you can just select everything, okay, and then you right click. Wait, my right click is not working. Yeah, it's working now. Dynamics. Okay, select everything, and then you go to engrave mode. So press Control or Command 3 on Mac. Okay, then you have this. Well, of course you can do it manually, just move it down, but a neater way is to go to Dynamics after you right click and you do Align Dynamics. I really wish that this was in the right mode, but it is what it is. You have like an extra step here. I mean, you can also make a macro or something out of it, but still, it would have been nice if it was just in the right mode because it is kind of in that area. And then everything will be aligned perfectly and you can just have a pretty score. But other than that, yeah, that was it for this video. And as usual, if you have any comments, questions, or anything, just leave them in the comment section. And yeah, don't forget to press the like button and subscribe. And till next time, Homayoon out.